We'll be making this Christmas tree bauble. There are 5 colors in it, and we are using some overlay crochet in it. You can use any yarn or wool or thread for making this. The size of the bauble will depend on how thick your yarn is. This is not a beginner project, so I'm not actually going to explain how to make the basic stitches. I'm using American crochet terms. I have 2 halves here, and as we see, they are not exactly the same. So this here bit with trebles in 2 colors only gets done into one of them. I'll make it for the first one, which makes the second one a bit quicker to make then. So here's what you need. 5 colors of yarn, something to put inside the bauble, and a crochet hook that goes with the weight of your yarn. This one is soft and it has wadding in it. These 2 are hard and they have a polystyrene ball inside them. So we're starting here. I'm starting here. You need a slip knot to start with and then you chain 4. So I have 2 and now 3 and 4, and then you join it into a ring and make 8 single crochets into the ring. 8. So now I have 8, and then take another color, and I'm joining this using a slip stitch, already using the new color because it makes it tidier here. And for this row you will be working the stitches into the back loop. This here, the back one, will need the front ones for the next row. So first I chain 3, like to make a double crochet, and then you go around this, making 2 double crochets into every second back loop, like this here. Now there's 2 in that back loop, and then 1 into the next one, 2 into the one after that, and so on. So double crochets always into the back loop, so that the front loop stays here. Altogether then, when you go around it, you will have 16 double crochets when you count the chain in the beginning. 16. So here that's row done, and I close it off with a slip stitch. Then we are going to make these here overlay bits over this here blue, so you need a color that's clearly contrasting. So I'm taking a white yarn and 1 stitch into the one we had, and then we're starting to make double crochets across the blue row, and we attach them to the front loops on the red row. So a double crochet into, not directly under that there, but the next one. So you make it into that, and the double crochet stays above the previous row, like that there. And then before the next double crochet, 2 single crochets into this here blue row, and these will be sort of V shape, so the next double crochet will go into the same loop. So into the same loop I attach it there, like that, and then again 2 single crochets and a double crochet, not to the next loop but the one after it here, on the red row. So this here one, like that, and then 2 single crochets and again in there. Now we've got 2, and then continue like this until you get 4 and come to the end of the row. Not that one, but the next, and so on. So this is that row, and then we'll be doing this here green row, and again there'll be overlay after this row. These red ones are a separate row, so now we need the green. So first we'll make a cluster of 3 double crochets, and we'll always make the cluster on top of each of these here white double crochets. So first I'll make 3 chain stitches and then 2 double crochets into the same one, and leave the last stitch on the hook until you get the 3 done. So now I got 3 here, and then I pull the yarn through all of them at once. Then you chain 1 and 1 double crochet into the middle of these here bits. Again chain 1 and then another cluster on top of this here bit. So 3 double crochets so that you leave the last stitch on the hook. 1, 2, 3, and now you pull the yarn through all of them. And you continue like this right round. Always 1 chain in between, and then 1 double crochet, chain 1 and a cluster of 3. So alternating them. 1 cluster, 1 single double crochet, 1 cluster, and so on. So here we are, right round like that, and again at the end closing it by attaching it to the start of the row, to the top of the first cluster. And then next we'll do this here row that goes partially over the previous row. If you find this difficult to do, you could actually leave this here row out, and then you would come back continuing this here stripes. But I'm going to do this here now. I'm picking up the red yarn from inside there and first making 1 stitch. Then I'll make a single crochet into the space before a single double crochet, and after that a double crochet into the same stitch where that double crochet has been attached to, and I'm going to put the hook from behind into that there hole like that, and then make a double crochet in there. And after that I'm still making another single crochet into the same gap where I am now, so that this here new one won't slide over the green one. And then I'll make another one on the other side of the green double crochet. So single crochet first, and then double crochet into the same stitch again, and again putting the hook from underneath there like that, and a double crochet there. So it looks like that, and then again into that same gap still a single crochet. Then next we having that cluster, and we aren't using that in any way. I just skip over that into the next space and a single crochet there, and then just the same thing as we already did. So I'll show that a second time. Again my hook through there and a double crochet into that, and a single crochet, just keep it there. And then we go to the other side of it, single crochet, again a double crochet into that there same space, and a single crochet into that same place again. There. So now we've got 2, and that's how you continue. And like that, right round. So that's that row done. And after that we'll have 1 row of single crochets. So you simply go around it, 1 single crochet into every stitch. That should be making 46 stitches when you count all the ones at the top here. First chain 1 and then single crochets into every stitch on the previous row. Just like this, right round. So that's it round, and again slip stitch to close the row. And after that we are going to make 5 rows that are like slip stitches attached to the previous row and always to the back loop. It might be better not to use the color that will then go over it. I'm using the red because otherwise the overlay won't show quite as well if you had the stripe of the same color here. So I'm using my 4 colors here apart from the red. I'm starting with the white, and what you do, you simply make slip stitches right round. So through the back loop and pull the yarn through straight away. So not a single but a slip stitch right round, and never increasing or decreasing, just keeping the same number of stitches on the whole row. That's that row right round, and then when I'm at the end of it I'm taking another color. I'm actually only taking my 5th color now. This yellow won't be much in my bauble, so then you just attach it there. I mean, just continue using the other color and go round again, just the back loops, slip stitches. This gives a sort of very small stripes here. It just about shows, but I wanted that kind of bits into the bauble as well. So you do this here yellow one that I have now, and then 3 more after that the same way. So here it is now. I have 5 rows of these slip stitches here, and then we'll make this red row of overlay trebles. So I'm getting the red yarn now. The yarns do get tangled, so you may need to organize them off and on. 1 chain stitch, tighten that one, and then 2 single crochets. I'm only taking the back loop of this here previous row. And then for the overlay bit we are making trebles, like a double crochet with 2 yarn overs, and we attach it. I like to attach it to the top so that I'm at the spot where this here cluster is directly above it, but you can of course put it where you like or find most comfortable. So I'm attaching it, taking it from there, putting my hook through that there row below, and making the double treble there, like this, and then 3 single crochets before doing the other side of it. 3, and again 2 yarn overs, and take the same stitch, and I'm also doing the same way from right to left, so that it's sort of a sharp V shape in there. Like that. And then in between 2 single crochets, like in the start. So 2 yarn overs, hook through that there blue row, treble, three single crochets, and a treble, and again hook from right to left through the same place as before. And so on. So you do this right round the whole row. So now that's all done, so that there are 8 of these V shapes, like there are 8 clusters, and I'm attaching it again to the start of the row. After that we'll have one white row of single crochets. Chain 1. Otherwise always one single crochet into the stitch below, except that we need to decrease some, otherwise the ball starts growing. So what we'll do in the middle of these here V shapes, we'll decrease 1 stitch by crocheting 2 together. So I'm making 1 loop and another, and then pulling the yarn through both of them. And otherwise then I just continue 1 stitch to a stitch. And here I'm again in the middle of the V, so I decrease 1 stitch by putting 2 together. And like this around the row. That's the white row done. And when you are doing the other side of the ball, you will finish here. This here bit, the 2-color one, is only in it once, so we'll make it into this first one, red and green. And we'll make trebles so that every second one is green and every second one is red. First I'll chain 4 to start, and then I just get the red one and start making trebles, changing the color every time. So 1 treble into every stitch. So red one, then a green one, and so on. So you go right round once with these 2 colors. So that's that right round, and again I finish off with a slip stitch. Now I'll do 1 more row here, just a row of slip stitches in white, just so that the sewing of them together will show a bit less. Just going through here every stitch with slip stitches. Right round. And after you get that done, then this side of the ball is finished, and then do another one just the same as we were saying, that you finish with this here white. Don't do these twice, otherwise it won't be round. So you finish here. So here I have 2 of them, and only this one has the middle bit here. You need to finish off the threads that are inside. Here I have just knotted them and left some because they won't show anyway. I never use knots for anything that you would wear, but for decoration it's okay. Then you need to sew them together. Just put them against each other like this, and sew with very small stitches. Just small stitches from both sides. and so on, and you sew half of it, and then when you have done half you need to insert either the wadding or polystyrene ball into it. So now I have the ball inside it, and then I just need to sew the rest. It's better that the ball is a little bit sort of too big than too small, because it will look nicer if it's tight. So now I'll sew the rest. And here it is, all done. Lovely and colorful. Hope you'll enjoy it.